Hi, my dear viewers. This is Dr. L. Tirupati, ABV Government Degree College, Jangaon District, Telangana State. In today's online class, we are going to discuss very important topic, that is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's ideology on untouchability and social reforms. This is very important because of he is a man. He is behind the entire constitution. He is the drafting committee chairman, as well as he has gone so many difficulties from his childhood. In this context, he have made so many observations in the form of his writings. So, and he has a practical man. He has experienced in the society what kind of difficulties he have faced in the contemporary society of during his uh, period. So, uh, in this introductory clause, we will go through the some uh, his brief introduction about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, full name is Bhimrao Ramoji Ambedkar, also known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He was born on 14th April 1891 in Embo, Madhya Pradesh. Born as a Bhimrao Ramoji Ambedkar, he belonged to the untouchable Mahar caste. The Mahar caste is one of the freedom struggle. They have dare in their nerves to fight against the battlefield in the battlefield. So that the tribe is also the Mahar community. His Bhimrao Ramoji's mother passed away when he was 6 years old. It is a very uh, sad news when he was born as a little boy. And young Ambedkar came across harsh realities of his birth in a lowly caste, lonely caste. In, it is very difficult because of the Indian caste system. He has faced so many difficulties uh, from his childhood onwards. In in class in classrooms, he was made to sit a loop in a corner because he has no right to. The society made him as a untouchable because why? Because he should not sit in the nearer to the other his fellow students. Why? Because he belongs to the untouchable community, the scheduled caste community. That's why the society made him to be outside of the class or a very loop of that classroom. That is a very corner of that classroom. That's a the situation he have faced and how much pain he have gone through that childhood life. So this is a very bad situation he has faced in his during his childhood. The teachers The Ambedkar teachers refused to touch his notebooks. This is a very uncivilized practice in the modern sense. But during the time, the society practiced the rooted the such kind of social distance. That means the society has made the untouchables away to the mainstream of the society of the other communities. That deep rooted the social evils were very much prevailed during the life of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. As a result, he was said that I might have born as a Hindu, but I don't want to die as a Hindu. Why? Because he said that the Hindu religion is created so much difficulties and it is based on the caste and creed. So that's why That is the main reason. As a result, he was converted into uh, the the Buddhist community. The conversion took place in 1956. It is the very biggest. All of lakhs of people have converted into the Buddhist religion because of it. He says that Ambedkar in the Ambedkar's word of Ambedkar, he says that the Buddhist religions gives the peace and fraternity, whereas the other communities in India, they they preaches the evil practices and discrimination among the societies. That is the downtrodden, they are untouchables, they are prohibited in so many ways. They should not come, enter into the temples, they should not take the water of that related, the common water which belongs to the entire community in the society, and they should not go to the schools. This kind of social level is too much prevailed. This makes him a very stronger and stronger because of he decided to fight against all this kind of evils, and he was proved that he was a man, he was a champion of the. That's why he's considered as a messiah and champion of the Dalit communities in India. So the teachers were refused to touch his notebooks, and Ambedkar was denied access to common drinking water in schools. Only when a high caste person poured water in Bhim's mouth could be quench his thirst. Because if he want to drink some water, but he should not touch a mouth, and the other person should help, and that person should pour the water into his mouth, but uh, he has no chance to touch even that glass of water. That's kind of untouchability was being prevailed in the society at the moment of that contemporary society. And this make him determined to fight against this kind of evil practices. Once hesitated by Once instigated by untouchable fit of this thirst, Ambedkar dared and drank water from the common drinking water source. Higher caste Hindus, Higher caste Hindus beat him off, and such social atrocities were inflicted upon Ambedkar. This is the one of the biggest challenge. He was dared to take that common water, but the other communities have beaten off him, and such social atrocities were inflicted upon Ambedkar, and Indian jurist, economic, political, and social reformer who inspired the Dalit Buddhist movement and championed against the social discrimination towards the untouchables of which the Dalits, the downtrodden of the society. So this kind of very uh, sympathetic, he has a very miserable social background in that society has grown up, and now he has emerged as one of the one of the most intellectual personality in the world. That's why the Russian President Putin, Vladimir Putin, now has putting in his chamber Ambedkar's photo, and on that photo, beneath that he is sitting. That shows that how the world leaders respecting the world, how much knowledge he has gained, how much the enlightened by the Ambedkar's research across the world. He is the man. He was the champion. He was the struggle fighter. He was the hard worker. He showed so many ways for the entire world. He proved that he might have poorer, but in terms of economics or economical point of view, but he is rich in terms of knowledge. He has proved that's why he has so many degrees across the world. He went to America and other countries also, where he did his PhD, his honorary degrees so many times. Entire his life was he was devoted to the lot of research and works and new subjects. This shows his capacity, how much hard worker he was. Many other social activists says that we are enjoying the reservation just because of the Ambedkar. He was there, that's why we are now here. There are so many intellectuals saying that this is the without Ambedkar and without the provisions of reservations in the that were incorporated in the Indian Constitution, we might have not entered into the even today schools and colleges and some of the uh, organizations as the employers and some other. This was taken place just because of the gift of the hard work of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Ambedkar was a prolific student, earning decorates in economics from both Columbia University and the London School of Economics, and gaining reputation as a scholar for his research in law, economics, and political science. In his early career, he was an economist, professor, and lawyer. His later life was marked by his political activities. He became involved in campaigning and negotiations for Indian independence and publishing journals advocating political rights and social freedom of Dalits and contributing significant to the establishment of the state of India. In 1956, he converted to Buddhism and initiating mass conversion of Dalits. He was independent India's first Minister of Law and Justice, and he chief architect of Indian Constitution. And in 1990, the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, was awarded to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. This shows the talent and the knowledge and the contribution of the uh, Ambedkar, Baba Rao Ambedkar. So, and the other, and he also went that Dalits contribution significantly, and he says it after receiving the Bharat Ratna, he also recognized after in 19 onwards in India across India, so many Dalit organizations have come out and they organized the awareness of the Ambedkar's ideology across India. And some of the books which was written by Ambedkar, they are very famous. That is the caste in India and their mechanism, genesis and development and other essays. This was written in by Ambedkar and riddles in individualism. This is also one of the book which explains about how individualism was going on, and the essays on untouchability and untouchability. This is also one of the major important. And the untouchable, another one is that untouchables, who were they and why they became untouchables. In this book, it was beautifully organized why they became untouchables and why and why became the untouchables. Because of, he says that because of the society, they are not born as a untouchables. They are also equal to the others, but they have made because of the societal norms, the ideology of the norms, and the narrow-minded societal practices in the societal norms. They have made them how they made the Dalit community people and the downtrodden people has a untouchables. Untouchables, so they should not touch into the other person should not come too near to approach this kind of community people because of they belongs to the they just because of their sin is that they has born as a Dalits in the Indian society. That is their sin. That's why they are unable to come to the other nearer to other communities because they are untouchable. So they should not enter into temples and they should not even go to the common water, drinking water. They even should not go into the seminars and schools with other uh, fellow students along with the other upper caste people. And the most important is that the book is that Annihilation of Caste, which was written in 1936. This is a very, very important important rating of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is the Annihilation of Caste. It says that how to eradicate the caste system in India. This is a very, very important and most renowned reformist oriented. It has written so many innovative ideas and how to become revolt against this kind of practices in this uh, untouchable in the annihilation of caste. That book was a very, 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 very much important to the Dalit community. In that book, he has explained A to Z how this society is being manipulating, and how the society control, how the religious people controlling, how the caste molding, how the caste upper caste people being controlling to the downtrodden people in the name of other various forms, whichever may be the traditions or the other lack of ignoring the knowledge and economical and political point of view. That's why he says that without a political empowerment, there is no other empowerment, because of the political who versus the economy. They are the very important. They are key players. And he also says that without the political power, we cannot do anything. If you want to do the justice in terms of society, then you have to you should emerge as a ruling class. He has given us society. He has given so many slogans on this particular aspect is concerned. Such a beautiful comments was made on the some of the noted points were mentioned by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar regarding the caste. He says that the caste is a byproduct of the caste system. There will be outcast as long as there are caste. Nothing can emancipate the caste except the destruction of the caste system. He says the very powerful quotation. He says that the caste is just because of the byproduct of the caste, and the nothing can emancipate that. Nothing can prevent the caste psychology, the feeling of the caste, the feeling of the great and priorities, the feeling some upper caste people feeling. According to Ambedkar's point of view, so many upper class people they feel they are they are superior over the other people. They may be in terms of poor that are Dalits, but that's why they are inferior to the upper class people. This kind of society was being prevailed at that time. As a result, he says that this is there is no nothing, there is no concrete method to emancipate the caste system, to remove the caste system, except to destruction of the caste system. That's why he was in the 1950s. He was burnt the copies of Manadharma Shastram with lots of people of his supporters. He did that because of he was afraid of this kind of social meanness, social evils, the caste system. This was one of the major quotation. Another quotation is that Dalit aspirations are a breach of peace. Annihilation of caste is a breach of peace. This is the very, very important. The Dalit community always wants for the peace, and the annihilation of caste is a breach of peace. This means whenever the caste system driven away, then distracted, then the people in the society, especially the downtrodden people, that the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and other backward classes people, they will be happy, they will enjoy the peace. Then the social stigma the social traditions, the social evils will be given away, taken away by annihilation of the caste. This is the powerful quotation. Indicates that the downtrodden people always want the peace, and the caste system is the main factor to make a society become violent and discriminative society. The society exists with a lot of discrimination because of the upper and the lower tradition of the in the hierarchy. According to Manu Dharma Shastram, there is society, the caste system organized in the hierarchy well, the upper one and the lower one. In the top of the hierarchy, the Brahmins, the Brahmins, they came from the Brahma's head, and the next to below to them is the Kshatriyas. They come from their shoulder, and the below to the Kshatriyas, the another one third form of upper caste is came the Vaishyas. The people they would do, the first class people will do the preachings to the and advice, they give advice to the kings and the rulers. The second class, the Kshatriyas, they will, what will they do, they will do the uh, land order duties, the protection and such kind of. The thus the third class of uh, people, they do the business, the Vaishyas, they do the business activities. And lastly, the Sudras, they came from the feet of the Brahma. That's why they are called the Sudras. They have to do the above all class of people's work. They have to do all kinds of work what the above class people will say to them. They have no specific recognition in the society. Why? Because they born from the Brahma's the feet. They have that's why they are called, they are not considered at all as a human beings. According to the Ambedkar's perception, the downtrodden people never considered as a human beings, except a few people have recognized them. But majority of the people in the during at that contemporary society, they never recognized them as a the main the equal to the other caste people. They are as a human beings. Many a time Ambedkar and Joshua and some other Dalit leaders felt that even the animals, they have been respected by the upper caste people, but the fellow beings, they never given respect by the upper caste people. The people, why? Because they don't deserve from this upper caste people point of view. Why? Because they born in the downtrodden community, untouchables. They are the untouchables. They born from the feet of the Brahma. They have to do the all things to the society. This kind of explanation given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And another one is uh, uh, this one, and the another one important quotation was given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, that caste is another name for control. The caste puts a limit on the enjoyment. Caste does not allow a person to transgress caste limits in pursuit of his enjoyment. That is the meaning of such caste restrictions as interdining and intermarriage. This being my view was, I am opposed to all those who are out to destroy the caste system. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says in the Annihilation of Caste. He says that the caste is another form, main form of, in this quotation, he has given a lot of meaning. The caste is in the name of control. The caste always controls the downtrodden people, and he puts a limits on the enjoyment. The control means the upper caste people always control the downtrodden people in so many ways. That's why he says that, and that's why he advised the intercaste marriage should be advisable to follow his messengers to reduce the inequality in the society and remove the other restrictions which are given by other societal point of view. So this is very, very important things was being observed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. However, there are other there are other things which were very important, which were given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. They are the most important one is the society, how society look at the people. That is the main important. Otherwise, he says that Dr. Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he has became most radical avatar. He was became most radical in Ajuda because of he can see his role as a social reformer. While at the same time, he can be observed that his radicalism was never devoid of the spirit of intellectual recognizing and liberty. This became evident in his undelivered speech, the, that is the annihilation of caste. That book, in that book says that he prepared as the presidential address for the annual conference of a Hindu reformist group lot at the Today Mandal, which his later got published in his own experience, which thereafter became an instant classic in Indian intellectual history. That is his speeches was the letter speeches published in the form of book later on. He again he only agreed partially with Gandhi's mantra of denying, inter-denying and intermarriage. He found intercaste dining an inadequate remedy, as he pointed that there are many castes which that means which allow interdining, but is a common experience that interdining is not recommended by the intercaste. He found that the caste dining is an inadequate remedy, and he says that the but it is a common experience that interdining is not succeeding in killing of the spirit of caste and conscience of the caste system in the society. In the practice and the theory, there is a lot of difference in the Indian society. That's why he was vexed of this kind of incidents throughout his life. He has, that's why he felt many a time sad about the Indian society because of the religious motivation, because of the caste-oriented motivations. So there is no recognition to an individual as a human being. They won't give if he has even has a person as a intellectual and intelligence and his caliberty will not be recognized by the upper caste people because of not having the person ability, but because of he was born in a downtrodden society as a uh, lower caste people as a person. That's why the upper caste people won't allow to give such kind of recognition to Ambedkar and many other people. This was very sad news. This was happened throughout the life. Even Dr. Gurram Jaswa, in his contemporary writer in Andhra Pradesh, he has written one novel that is Gabilam. In that Kandakavya, he says that the other people have many a time they praised him as a great writer, but when they came to know he belongs to as a scheduled caste person, then they said that oh no, your writings are not good because of before unknown to his caste the people praised him as a good writer, but when they came to know about the his caste and his social status, they realized that and they said that your writings are not good, please move. When this kind of society discrimination prevailed across the society, across the India, in that during that contemporary society, as a result, he has faced so many and other things, especially uh, the things which are very important, but they are unable to face this kind of societal challenges. This was main the fighting with the upper caste people is not possible because of Ambedkar social ideology. But because of the upper caste people, Ambedkar was always try to give his uh, credit to fight, but they never allowed the other societies because of the upper caste people. Ambedkar pursued social justice was not limited with the boundaries of the constitution. He worked relentlessly to uplift the weaker sections of the society, particularly the differentiated classes, even outside the framework of the Indian constitution. By the praise outside the framework of constitution not mean that he adopted an extra constitution mean to ensure justice for the weaker sections. It only means that he did not limit his efforts to secure social justice for depressed classes by just preparing constitutional guarantee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, during his several instances, was on the ground leading satyagraha for emancipation of untouchabilities and depressed classes. He was not just an armchair theorist, but a man of action. He never uh, permitted to only theoretical point of view, but he was always practiced what he was preached. Thus, it is critical to iterate his contribution to the social justice outside the universe of the Indian Constitution. By 1927 onwards, Ambedkar had decided to launch a active movement against untouchability. He began with public movements and marched to open up public drinking water resources. He also began a struggle for the right to enter Hindu temples. He led a satyagraha in Manhad to fight for the right of the untouchables community to draw water from the main tank of that town. In a conference later, 1927, Ambedkar publicly condemned this classic Hindu text, the Manusmriti, Labdha Manu, for ideologically justifying caste discrimination and untouchability. And he ceremonially uh, burned copies of the ancient text, that is Manusmriti, on 25th December 1927. He led thousands of followers to burn copies of Manusmriti. Thus, annually, December 25th is celebrated as a Manusmriti Dahan Din. This by Dr. Ambedkar and his followers. This was the one of the important incidents taken place by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Such a intellectual person became as an revolt, become a radicalist because of the the societal norms, the societal narrow-minded approach, the societal inhibitions towards the and the practices which are being practiced by the upper caste people to seeing the downtrodden people as a inhumane and they are untouchables. They are not yet given a due respect. This kind of practices made him to decide such kind of strong decision and to take concrete decision to uh, make such kind of practice to equal society and equal rights. This kind of initiatives are being organized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And now, and other this in this background is very much relevant to the that contemporary society and the The other things also, they give other incidents in the societal point of view. The entire society was against the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but he never afraid of such kind of tactics, such kind of attacks, because of he was always wanted to justice to the all community people, and he wanted untouchables to free themselves from the bandage of the village community and the traditional jobs. So this is the one of the important. He wanted to achieve a new skills and start a new professionals and move to cities to take advantage of industrialization. He advocated the many youths across India to take to move from the traditional villages to the urban towns to where you get the employability opportunities, employable opportunities to uh, to stand your on their on own feet in terms of economical aspects. He described a village as a sink of localism, a den of ignorance, narrow mindedness, and communalism. This is a very, very important. This society always is a sink of localism and ignorance and narrow mindedness and communalism. This is the that's why he said that he given slogans to every Dalit student to move from village to migrate from village to urban society where some civilized people will give respect, and there you have the employability opportunities a lot of, then you the mindset of the viewer will be changed. You know the what is the world and what is taking place in the world. If you are staying in the village, you can't understand the society, the world which is going in what direction in respect of the other countries perception. So that's why he says that to move on to the other downtrodden people should move to the town. Towns are the mini towns. And political strength is also one of the important point for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says. He wanted untouchables to organize themselves and politically. He says that he preached, you should fight, you should always fight for your justice, you should fight for the right, you should fight for the injustice which was taken place in the society centuries together in the form of control, caste, religion, and creed. So he gave slogan unite, fight, and gain knowledge. This was the slogans given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to mobilize the people's unity and get the power strengthened in the society for the sake of injustice which was being done by the upper caste people. With political power, untouchables would be able to protect safeguards and introduce new emancipation policies. And uh, he also said that conversion is also one of the important uh, social solution, the societal solution to the menace of casteism, creedism, narrow-minded approach. So he said that when he realized that Hinduism not able to mend his ways, he adopted Buddhism and asked his followers to do the same. That's why in 1950 for him, Buddhism was based on humanism and believed in the spirit of equal and fraternity. As in the earlier point, on the earlier earlier class, in the earlier pages, we have discussed that he was in 1956. He was converted into the Buddhism. As he said that once again, I am reminding that he was said that I might have born in Hindu religion, but I won't die in the Hindu religion as a same Hinduist because of there is untouchability. There is there is no liberty, there is no spirit of equality and fraternity. That's why there is no humanism. Humanism means the other The upper caste people don't treat them as a human being, fellow human being. They don't see him as the Dalits as a human being. Even the animals will be treated well by the upper caste people, but the Dalits are not, because this kind of social stigma, the societal narrow-mindedness of the people and other kind of things. And that's why he said that 1956, a mass conversion procession has been taken place in the presence of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I think in the Mumbai, Maharashtra, there are so many people converted into the Buddhist monk, Buddhist communism, so religion, because of peace, fraternity, and humanism is available in that society, that in that religion. I am again he says I am reborn, rejecting the religion of my birth. I discard the religion which discriminates between a man and a man, which treats me as an inferior. He given the statement that why he was refusing the Hindu religion, because he says that the religion sees the discrimination between man to man, and it treats him as a inferior to the other class. As per the nature, every man is equal. But in Hinduist philosophy or the caste, the some people are downtrodden. They are not equal. That's why he says that the man there is no discrimination. So such kind of religion, I will. He is not always. He is not against the religion, but he was against the Hindu religion because of the lot of discrimination. That's why he was adopted the Buddhism, Buddha, Buddhism religion, Buddhist religion, because of it gives humanism, equality and fraternity among all castes of people. All walks of the people are equal in their point of view. That's a beautiful religion was liked by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And so the social levels and educational and the material were new mean of livelihood and at a political justice. It says that the social level education must be should be given to the all Dalit students, all the Dalit community. They may be SC, STs, and OBC, other backward classes. They must need the education. Then only they will realize the what is untouchability, what is the discrimination which is being taking place in the society, how it is being taking place. What are the reasons? What could the main reasons might have been behind they are leading the society, making the society to think in that narrow perspective of a societal point of view. These are the main things, and he also made some other observation regarding the society is concerned. Uh, that is, he said according to him, intermarriage was only one solution to the problem. I say that many solutions, but he given very important. That is the intercaste marriage. He was approached to reduce the societal discrimination. So, fusion of blood can be alone create the feeling of being kith and kin. Unless this feeling of kinship of being kindred and becomes paramount, the separatist feeling, that the feeling of being aliens created by caste will not vanish. However, further on the further analysis, he found that even intermarriage is an impracticable idea. He objected that caste is not a psychological object like a wall of bricks or a line of barbed wire, which prevents the Hindus from communalizing, and which has therefore to be pulled down. This was given the great important, a great point. Casteism is caste is a notion which is a state of the mind. The destruction of caste does not therefore mean the destruction of the psychological, physiological barrier. It means a notional change. The caste, when the caste detected, this is just because of the notional change. This was a Ambedkar's philosophy. This was the caste is one of the biggest barrier in the society. How a wall breaks the outsiders who enter into the inside, like the casteism in the society prevents the downtrodden people not to enter into the main class of the society. So he was given such kind of comments, and he was observed so many things because of he felt he was experienced this kind of societal discrimination. Again, the other important observation, and the finally he submitted that the real remedy to the destroy the belief in the sanctity of the Shastras. Hence, he said that 1927 is the seen ceremonially burning of the ancient manuscript invoking the imagination of the antithesis to the Sri Thomas More was burnt a reformist text to protect Catholicism, and as a British chancellor in the early 1500 years, bringing the circle of history to just consummation. This is a very, very important thing. However, uh, Ambedkar's, we can say that to what extent the Ambedkar theory is relevant to the today's society, we can say that the relevance of the Ambedkar's theory is very much relevant even today because of the caste-based inequality in India still prevails. That may be in the as it was it prevailed in the Ambedkar's period, but in the new form, the caste discrimination is being prevailing. While Dalits have acquired a political identity through reservation and forming their own political parties, they lag behind in social dimensions, health and education and economic dimensions. For the sake of the reservations, many political parties have given tickets to the downtrodden people. Many of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes people have elected as a representatives on behalf of uh, the the party which dominates the upper caste leadership. Then what is the use of that? He said so. That's why in even today's India, there are so many this kind of practice. The leaders, their names say they are reserved, but they are not really enjoying as Ambedkar visualized. This is the one of the important drawback. That's why in India we can see that only the party which was came for the empowerment of Dalit, Bharatiya Janata, Bharatiya Bahujan, the BSP Bharat, BSP party which was led by the Kansi Ram, BSP Bahujan Samaj party, which is the only party which was being struggling under. Now it is being uh, running under the leadership of Ms. Mayawati in the yeah, Uttar Pradesh state. This is the very, very important, but there is other parties out there don't have some such kind of financial resource and political and other economical resource in the even today's society. So that's why reservation is for the namesake, but not in reality. They are the reservation are given the real empowerment to, as was visualized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And there has been a rise of communal polarization and communalization of politics even today. What was, in fact, many of the surveys have suggest that during the Ambedkar's period, there are a little bit, there are here some kind of communal violence, but even the modern India, there are so many such kind of communal polarization and communalization have been taking taking place because of the political gain the division, the vote banking politics. This kind of politics have been taking place in the contemporary society. That's why the ideology of Ambedkar is very much relevant to even today's world. It is necessary that Ambedkar's vision of constitutional morality must supersede religious morality to avoid permanent damage to the Indian constitution. This is also one of the important observations. However, the other things are we need to discuss here is that the the caste, the creed, and other. He says that he has given some message to his followers. According to him, he message to followers said, educate, organize, and agitate. This is the slogan was given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is you should educate, you should organize your strength, and you should agitate against the injustice which was taking place in the society. These three phrases was being very much attracted lots of youth across the society, across the India. Educate, organize, and give the. These were the very very important things, and still resounds the corridors of Indian socio-political world, right from the Hyderabad Central University to the village of the Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, where the scheduled castes are still discriminated against and are forced to live in the segregated localities in this village. The members of the permanent revolution he had talked about in various writings still burned in our minds as we commit ourselves to keeping his teachings alive in spirit and in action. According to historian R.C. Guha, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is a unique example of success and even in most adverse situations. Today, India is facing many socio-economic challenges such as casteism, communalism, separatism, and gender equality, etc., etc. We need to find the Ambedkar's spirit within us so that we can pull ourselves from these challenges. Often Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is portrayed as a Dalit leader who fought for his community with unmatched clarity, alacrity, and of course he did. He gave a sanction of population in India, a worthwhile identity across the world. In doing so, he fought for his humanity. This is the very, very important thing. Ambedkar always fought for the humanity. From his point of view, he never fought again. He was not only try to change in the social order only for the sake of the list, but he also fought for the human rights in irrespective of all caste women. He was given equal rights of women and education for the all the irrespective of their gender discrimination. He is the man of champion. He is the man of intelligence. He is the man of a symbol of knowledge. This kind of words are not enough to describe his legacy and his reformist oriented approach. So, in this, with this kind of ideology, Ambedkar was might have physically disappeared, but in his spirit, in his ideology, in his spirit, he is being with us. Centuries together, he will be uh, with us as long as the society, the communal discrimination prevails. He will always be us in the form of the educator, in the form of the spirit, in the form of the awakeness. He will always be all the us and as a intellectual motivator, as a champion of the rights and champion of the humanist. So with this uh, uh, favors, I will conclude today's class. In tomorrow class, we will discuss about the Ambedkar's ideology on the political front. So, if you have any queries, you can approach me. I am leaving my email address here, and you can contact me. You can consult through that. If you have any doubt, then I will be available to you always. So I am very much thankful to you all for your wonderful and patient listening throughout today's online class. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.